Great evening, and great evening once again. Let me apologize. I call myself adjusting my lighting, and it just seems to not be working, but the message is going to be delivered anyway, regardless of the fact. I know if I try to turn this down, it just makes me maybe better. Okay, we're just going to go without that. I think it's better. All right, so I'm sorry. So again, welcome, and welcome. Great evening. This is the Sonya Dungee podcast, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. And I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and yes, I am still bringing the heat to the IG, to the Facebook, to the YouTube, and now to the TikTok streets. So tonight's episode number 156, y'all, is stuck, and still stuck. Okay. And it is being brought to you by Always Destined for Greatness, LLC. So, how is everybody doing tonight? Seriously, how is everybody doing tonight? Please go ahead and drop in the comments where you are tuning in from this evening so I can definitely shout y'all out. So, wow. As I'm talking to you tonight, I just took a second out to just kind of reflect on this last week. Our God is amazing. Our God is great. And I am so grateful for all that He has done and continues to do in my life. So, just a quick recap. Saturday, we had the honor of going to Calverton National Cemetery in Calverton, New York, where we had the honor of placing graves at every single grave site there at Calverton. I didn't do it all by myself. We were assigned two sections, section 20 and 21. And then also, the calabarium is fairly new. And for those of you who don't know what the calabarium is, that is the wall. And my dad is entombed. His ashes are within the wall of the calabarium. And I've spoken to you about that on numerous occasions as well. But so we did that on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we celebrated a family member whose birthday it was. And, so we did our little happy birthday family thing on Sunday. And then, of course, Monday, the Sonya Dungee podcast gave a special Memorial Day tribute to the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and for veterans and those who are currently serving in the armed forces. And then now tonight, we get to learn and grow together. But before we do, I'm going to share my story with all of you on how I became a podcast host as well as a transformation coach. Okay. So for me, my story began on Saturday, January 23rd, 2021, at precisely 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I held my dad's left hand sitting beside him. I witnessed a tear roll down his cheek. And it was at that moment he took his last breath here on this earth. And I know he took his first breath there in heaven. And as a result of that, I immediately spiraled out of control. I mean, when I say immediately, I mean immediately. I was screaming, I was hollering, I was begging my dad, please don't go. Somebody say something. Because, I mean, as I've expressed a couple times before, and I don't talk about it often, being that I was the only sibling here in New York and all my siblings were scattered throughout the United States and Sweden. I was the only one physically in New York and had to make that decision when to tell them to unplug um, the machines. And as a result of all that, we're in the height of the pandemic. It wasn't easy for you to just, stroll around the hospital as it once was, and everything was limited. So it was a lot of pressure already on me. And I thought that I had already said my goodbyes earlier that morning, actually in the middle of the night, when I was called by the doctors and telling me that my dad didn't have much time left. And so it was just a combination of so many different things. Knowing that my full family couldn't be there, knowing that they were outside, some of them in the frigid cold of January, knowing that some had to resort to a Zoom to be able to say their goodbyes. It was just a lot. So because of that, I spiraled out of control and I became isolated in a very dark place. I had lost a lot of weight without trying to. Obviously, I wasn't eating and didn't even realize that I wasn't. Time was just flying by. Um, I was working from home, so I just had to leave my bedroom, walk across the living room into my shisha room, do my 6.5, 7.5, 8 hour tour, whatever was assigned for me for that day, close down at the end of at the day or the evening, and close the door to the shishi room, walk back across the living room into the bedroom, and shut the door again. I had a bathroom in there, so I really didn't have a reason to come out. And when I did come out and I wasn't doing my job, I was running to the cemetery every chance I could get. Once I got past, my bouncers, I call them, my bodyguards, my family members who were um, apparently watching me when I didn't know they were really paying attention to me. And that continued. I was stuck for 342 days, just like that hamster on a wheel going around and around and around, just having no direction, no purpose, no nothing. I was just there. I wasn't spending time with my family. I wasn't spending time with 3 of my grandchildren. Now I have 4. It was just horrible. When enough became enough for me and I couldn't take it for another second, and I decided that it wasn't conducive for me because it was affecting me emotionally, spiritually, and socially, I took action. I invested in myself. I found myself a mentor and coach, one and the same, and a community of like-minded, supported people that were going to hold me accountable. They weren't going to judge me, but they would call me on my BS at the same time. And as a result, fast forward to today. Today, I am blessed to be a transformation coach. I am blessed to be able to help women in their late 20s to middle-aged that are broken, stuck in grief, hardship, life challenges, suffering in silence, just like I did, with no direction, no end in sight, just the way I was, the same way, same thing, doing the same. But I get to help them move forward, to become resilient and empowered with an attitude of expectation and of excellence, reaching economic independence so that they can be destined for their greatness, for their very best, so that they can walk too in their God-given purpose, just like me. So thank you for allowing me to share my story. So let's go ahead and start, okay? Let's start becoming unstuck, shall we? So just before we do, I just want to share something with all of you. A viewer reached out to me and asked me, would I talk about various ways of being stuck. And I know we spoke about it so many times, but when somebody asks me, I'm never going to say no. I'm going to do it over and over and over again. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. So, as you know, there are various ways. There's various ways of being stuck, okay? And there's a vast amount of individuals, a vast number of individuals that don't even realize that they're stuck. And maybe, just maybe, one of you that are watching tonight or that will watch later on the replay, maybe it will hit home for you. Maybe this is exactly what you've been praying for. Just like I was those 4 years plus ago when I was stuck and I didn't know where to turn to. I didn't know who to talk to. I knew who not to talk to. I didn't want to talk to any of my family and I didn't want to talk to any of my friends because I thought that I was being unselfish. Because you see, I didn't want them to grieve like I was grieving. So I figured if I didn't talk about how I was truly feeling to them, it wouldn't cause any harm. It wouldn't cause them any more pain if I just kept it to myself. But you see, boy, was I wrong because I didn't know they were watching. I didn't even know that my sister all the way in Jacksonville, Florida knew everything. I was only fooling myself. And I don't want any of you to go through that suffering and that grief and that despair and that darkness with no direction, that isolation for so long like I did. 342 days, do the math. There's 365 in 1 year. 342 days before I decided enough was enough and I took that action. And that's what my hope is. That's what my wish is for all of you tonight. That you don't have to do that. That you never suffer the way that I did. And that if you are, you won't allow yourself to be stuck in it like I was. So, in a 2025 survey that was conducted, there was an estimated 86% over the age of 16 that have experienced grief, stuckness, as I call it. And let me clarify that for you. 80% who openly admitted to the fact that they were stuck in grief. In another survey, the people that admitted once again that they were stuck was 20%. 20% admitted that they were stuck to emptiness. 19% of them stuck as a loss of purpose. 16% stuck in rejection. Imagine that, stuck in rejection. That's something that we don't think about either. Stuck as a result of infertility. Approximately 10 to 15% of women in the US alone are stuck in grief of infertility, unable to conceive after 1 year of trying, or 6 months of the women surveyed that were 35 or older said it took them 6 months of trying. Another, adult adoptees. They're stuck in life challenges such as separation from birth parents, identity formation, and even their own sexuality. And we're just going to pause right there for a moment and just to let that sink in with all of you, because that's deep. Those are some of the ways that we don't even think about. So, in us just pausing for a moment to allow for this all to sink in, we have Queens joining us. Thank you for that. Live from Florida. Thank you. DC is in the house. Thank you. And there is one social media platform that I can't open, but I will acknowledge everyone afterwards for time's sake. I see some people are new that are joining. I want to thank you as well. And what I neglected to say earlier is grab some pens, grab some paper. And I said pens in case one stops working. So you can write down these facts. Write down some of the things, these steps that you're going to hear tonight. And if this doesn't resonate with you specifically, but you know of somebody that it will, please invite them to watch the replay. Or if you get a second, give them a call and ask them to join. Because it's so important that we need to hear this. We really, truly, we need to hear this as a community. You see, we as Americans, we're stuck, y'all. We're stuck. We're stuck worldwide, keeping it 100. But see, these are the percentages that I'm only speaking about today in the United States. But in terms of grief and stuck, I mean, that's an international occurrence. In terms of grief and stuck, that intense sorrow, that emotional pain associated with loss, stuck is what persists for an extended time that significantly impacts daily life. And it hinders the ability to progress forward and find true meaning. As I'm speaking to you tonight, you see, this was me. I'm being transparent. I'm sharing with you. I'm putting it all out there 100%. And I'm not even asking permission. Because you see, if I'm able to help one person tonight, whether it be now live or on that replay later, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. You see, we don't always think of ourselves as stuck. There's so many avenues of stuck. There's that stuck that we feel when our loved one is in incarceration. It affects us. It affects our family. It affects our children. It affects anyone going back and forth to that jail visiting and having to take off your jewelry and having to be checked and having to wear certain colors and not wear other certain colors, and given 1 hour at its best to be with that loved one. And that takes a toll on everyone. We don't think about those avenues of stuck. There are so many others. So many others. Let's talk about hardship pertaining to life. That situation that makes life difficult or unpleasant. Those conditions in life often involving suffering, deprivation, or lack of ease. If we can encompass various forms of struggle, including financial difficulties, illness, loss of loved ones, or challenging circumstances, it can encompass just about everything. just about everything. So now that we have that clear, concise, definitive understanding, let's go ahead and discuss ways to become unstuck. That's the reason why you all joined today. Today, some places tonight. I say tonight because it's after 8 for me. So I'm going to give you 5 ways to assist you in your journey to become unstuck. One is borrowed from a well-known quote from Hamlet. To thine own self be true. You heard me. To thine own self be true. You don't have to be true to me. You don't have to be true to anyone else other than God. But be authentic. Be honest with yourself. Know that it's okay not to be okay. See, I didn't know that. If somebody would have told me that 4 years plus ago, I would have said, that's not true. Because I thought it wasn't okay if I wasn't okay. But what's not okay is staying stuck. That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not cool. It shouldn't happen ever. I'm not telling you that you're not going to go through life challenges. I'm not telling you that you're not going to grieve, because you will. We're all not here to stay. But be authentic and be honest with yourself. 2, recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, your motivations and your desires. Just think about that for 1 second. And I'm reading some of the comments here. Wow, 80%, yes. Rejection, you're right. We don't think about it. No, we don't. Facts and values. Amen. Be true to thyself. Amen. Okay. So, I have a call to action for you. Ask yourself, what do you want out of life? What are your 6 pillars? What are your goals? Your dreams? Your aspirations? Your desires? If you know what they are, write them down. If you have a journal, keep it in your journal. 3, once you can answer in your truth and you're ready for forward progression, then take action. Start small. Small steps create that momentum. But you got to start. You have to start somewhere. Start. And in that action, invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. It's going to cost money. You have to invest in yourself. Find yourself a coach. Doesn't have to be me, but such as myself, that teaches from life experience. One that can provide you the tools that are necessary, that you can utilize in your progression to live purposefully. In that, taking action, take action in a supportive, uplifting, non-judgmental community of individuals that are leveled up. They're in that direction, moving forward, that you wish to go. That community of people that will hold you accountable. And yet, call you on your nonsense as well. And it can be difficult to ask for help. I'm guilty of it. I saw my daughter's on here. She gets on me all the time. I'm not one that asks for help. But I had to learn to ask for help. So yes, it can be difficult. But trust me, it will be one of your most useful tools in becoming unstuck. Because willpower alone won't do it for you. I don't often say trust me, but trust me. I tried that for 342 days. I tried that. And you see where it got me. Isolated, lonely, in a dark place, suffering in silence, with no direction, no end in sight. That's where it got me. So if you have a community, but this description isn't resonating well with you, it might be time to demote and promote anew. I've had to do it my own self. I promoted and demoted. I have people, I love them from afar. I respect them from afar. But I had to set some boundaries and reestablish the people that can be around me. And that's not a cockiness. That's none of that. And please don't take it that way. And if you do, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You have to reevaluate yourself. And you know what? I'm going to stop it right here. Because I had another one for you, but I have another one for you. If you want to know more, to become unstuck, to strive, to thrive in 2025, come join us. The Boss Masterclass, sponsored by Always Destined for Greatness. Presented by yours truly, Wednesday. Next week, mind you, June the 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Via Zoom. And I say that via Zoom. So via Zoom means you have to upload Zoom in order to join the Boss Masterclass. Okay, and that's going to be 5 steps to go from stuck to living life purposely. Okay? I mean, it's free. No strings attached. I don't know about all of you, but me, I love free. I could be frugal and free. And if you would like to begin your journey to become unstuck before June 4th masterclass, I will go ahead and leave the link to my calendar so that you can book a free, again, free half an hour, 30 minutes, a heart-to-heart with Sonya. If you bring your draft and I apply my proven blueprint life system, together we can draw your life blueprint. Okay? Because there's so much going on in this world right now. Spiritual warfare is at its finest. The enemy has come for me day after day. He tried to come for me a little while ago, just before this podcast. And I said, no can do. You can't have me. You can't have my friends. You can't have my family. You cannot have my viewers. Go away. Okay? There's just so much going on in this world that we ourselves need to be accountable. And the best way to begin your journey is to be responsible for yourself. So keep that in mind. Going back again, value, real talk. Thank you so much. And if you found value tonight, please put it in the comments that you found value, even a breakthrough or an aha. I really want to know. And please know I see you and I hear you. I appreciate you. And if no one has told you today, you are valuable. You are loved. I love you. Continue to talk to that self-image all day, every mirror, every day. Remember, always be destined for greatness. Your greatness, your very best. Stay safe. Stay well. God bless you all. Sign up for that free Boss Masterclass for next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we got some work to do in order to strive to thrive in 2025. Until we meet again, bye for now. And thank you for that last comment. Amen. The enemy is after us that's doing a ministry job to help others. And your platform is a ministry and helping others. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate you all.